With the season nearing its conclusion, there's another round of fixtures. That must mean it's time for the prediction show with FDT TV. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the prediction show. I'm Mike. We've got a couple of games that we want to give our predictions for this week. We've got Arsenal versus Liverpool and West Ham versus Watford. Watford on Friday. Before we do go any further, I just want to give a massive shout out to one of my mates, Tom McInnes, for regularly checking out the videos. Does like to put a comment on. I really appreciate your support. If you are watching the videos and you do like what you see, give us a comment, give us a like. If you haven't already, subscribe. And we've got some more content coming out in the future. If there's anything you want to see, you don't want to see, again, let us know, and we'll make some changes to give you the stuff that you want to see going forwards. So the first game that we are going to predict is the Arsenal versus Liverpool game. What can we say about Arsenal? Arsenal are such an up and down club. I was so disappointed with the result against Spurs on Sunday. It was a game I was very much looking forward to with every other North London derby. And we started the game so brightly. We dominated possession. And we were outdone by another set piece, outdone by our own players, giving the ball away needlessly, and it was just all in all a very disappointing game. For me, Klasen actually needs to be dropped for a bit because I think he's been absolutely terrible since we've come back. But I appreciate we've got injuries and stuff that we need to also take into consideration, but it can't be any worse than what we've seen recently from him. We've got Rob Holding, and we've also got Papastotopoulos or Socrates available. I know he was a bit of an injury concern a couple of weeks ago, but I understand since then he is now fit, so give them a run out. Aubameyang was unlucky again not to score a couple of the weekend, and had he buried those chances, it would have been all in all a very different game. However, because of that defeat, it's pretty much no European football for Arsenal, depending on how we get on in the FA Cup against Manchester City at the weekend. Can't see anything but a defeat on that one, and that brings us neatly on tonight's game. On to the Liverpool Arsenal game tomorrow, or tonight, depending on when you're watching it, or when you are watching it. Liverpool, I think, are going to absolutely outdo us tomorrow. I would be very surprised if we do get a goal. We're definitely going to concede goals. There's no way we're going to keep clean sheet against this informed Liverpool team. I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is a fixture that's thrown up some absolute beltering scorelines, certainly in my lifetime. The win at Liverpool to win or clinch the championship in '89, the 4-4, Andre Arshavin. I don't think it's going to be like that. It's a bit of a dead rubber game. I'm sorry to sound pessimistic, but I can't see anything other than 3-1 drubbing to Liverpool. There's not really much else to say on that one.
So first up this week we have Arsenal versus Liverpool. The big game. Me versus Mike. Mike versus me. However you want to say it. This game always has a lot riding on it every year. The first round, I believe, went to us. It's been that so long ago. It was months and months and months. I think beginning of, or this time in this autumn last year. So things have changed. I know Arsenal have been playing well, but I think they were very disappointed in that last game, not to come away with the win against Tottenham, which may have given them a bit of a blow, especially how they played as well. But then this is the champions. I don't think Arteta will allow them to play poorly and will try and push us as much as possible. And then the same on the reverse for us. We've been, I think, resting a few players, giving a bit of a break when we can in the run-up for these last few games. We've got Arsenal, we've got Chelsea, we've got Newcastle. Not the easiest of games to play, I have to say. So I do believe that we'll be coming out for this one strongly and looking for a win. I think we'll be pushing, having a strong squad out, and making the most, and making probably the most of a Arsenal defence that hasn't been this weak for many years. And so I think we'll punish some mistakes, or we'll try and push them into mistakes that they will then have to then fight back on. And it might, if we can get a few early goals, it'll demoralise them and we can go away with the win. But this is Arsenal. They've got some serious talent with Aubameyang in there. You've got the youngsters, Saka and Niles, or some other young kids that are really good and that could actually get a goal as well. So I'm going for both teams to score in this one, but I'm going Arsenal 1, Liverpool 3. Come on, the mighty Reds, the Championes. Let's do this. Let's beat Arsenal for another time and make me happy into the summer and give me the gloating rights.
So in our first game, we have Arsenal taking on Liverpool. Bit of a dead rubber game. Liverpool have already won. Arsenal now can no longer get into the Champions League, especially now that Manchester City's ban has been overturned. I feel Arsenal may scrape it, even though they were questionable at best against Tottenham. Tottenham, North London derby, form goes out the window. Liverpool, their sights will now be set on Champions League, where Arsenal are still going to try and push up the table as much as possible, finish strong. I can see a brace from Aubameyang and maybe 1 or 2 goals from Liverpool. So I'm going to go... what am I going to go? I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal. Just for the fact that it's a bit of a boring game, really. And finally, we have West Ham versus Watford. A must win for West Ham, especially now Villa and Bournemouth both picked up points. Seeing off Watford would mean that we have a 3-point gap over them and a 6-point gap over Villa and Bournemouth, who both play after us, I believe. It also means that West Ham probably not going to get anything against Manchester United, and it doesn't come down to the last game of the season against Aston Villa to try and stay up. We want to try and secure that beforehand. I can't see Villa winning another game until they play us, and then who knows. And same with Bournemouth, so we need to try and pick up as many points as possible. So I'm going to have to push for it. It's going to be a difficult one. I'm going to go 3-2 to West Ham. Come on, you Irons.
Then on Friday we have another big game, really big game for both teams. West Ham taking on Watford, and this really is a huge game for the bottom of the table, especially with how the results have gone this weekend. Both Watford picking up points, which would be really pushing them closer and closer and getting them moving away from the bottom 3. For me, I think Norwich is already gone. I don't really see Villa coming out of it, and Bournemouth as well. I think they're gone as well. But West Ham, they've come off back of some seriously good performances. They'll be happy with the 4-0 win against Norwich. Antonio will be full of confidence, and I think the way they set up and played the game was very positive. If Moyes takes that on, then he could really make a big difference here. I think Watford, they have got some good talent, but I think they've been making not the best use of it, having to rely on 2 penalties to get a point or to get the goals in at the weekend wasn't the best way round. But in this situation, I do believe West Ham will prevail. It's going to be a close game. quite physical. Both sides are very tough and have got the strong physical players, so it'll be quite interesting battles up and down the pitch. But I'm going West Ham 2, Watford 1.
Lastly, we've got West Ham versus Watford. Just looking at the table now, it's 16th versus 17th. Depending on how the results go for the remaining fixtures. This is a huge game for both teams. They're both on 34 points. West Ham with the better goal difference. It's going to be a cracking game. I thought Watford played really well at the weekend. Yeah, I really don't know where to go with this one. I think it's going to be a very, very, very fiercely contested game. I'll be really disappointed actually if it's something like a 1-1 or a 0-0. Mind you, depending on how both sets of teams play, could be quite an entertaining 1-1 or 0-0. But I do think there will be goals. Both teams, they are again fighting to stay up. We have already seen Norwich relegated, Aston Villa and Bournemouth currently sitting in 19th and 18th. There is still the chance Bournemouth are currently 3 points behind West Ham and Watford. So a couple of cheeky results here and there. They could find themselves either falling into the relegation battle or coming out of the relegation battle. But like I said in earlier episodes, I do think it will come down to the wire. I am going to be positive for West Ham though. I think they might have a bit too much for Watford. And I'm going to put West Ham down for a 2-1 win.
Thanks for watching. Click like and subscribe. Share it everywhere. Check out one of our other videos. It'll be somewhere around here. Cool.